Hello, good evening, everyone. Dr. Carolyn G. Anderson here, the International Director for the MMBA pageant. I believe I am live. I am getting a lot of, I believe I'm live. For those who are my guests this evening, if you can let me know that if I am live. I get a lot of error messages just now because we're like a second behind. And so welcome, everyone. Good evening again. Thanks for joining me. Dr. Carolyn G. Anderson here, your International Director for the USA Global Pageant, the World Global Pageant, as well as MMBA Pageant. We have one of our amazing queens who is joining us today. We have a second amazing queen who's joining us today, and a third. And one of them is celebrating a new baby into the family, which is such an exciting time, such an exciting moment. There's always great things happening in our MMBA family. So we're going to get ready to welcome a new little royal baby. And they, right now, I remember being, she was sharing with us in the virtual green room that the family member is right now the mom. 10 centimeters. So 10 is that number where it's the opening. It is ready to be able to give birth. And so we're birthing in this month. That is a very highly prophetic month. It is also a good month. So we're excited for that. We're excited. And you'll get to hear from her and hear from also our Ms. Black America, current reigning queen as well. And we have our senior division queen who will be joining us here tonight. So good evening again, everyone. Good evening again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to share some exciting news today, talk about the crowning of a nation, what that all entails, how is that different from nationals. In about another month and couple days, we'll also be celebrating the 1-year anniversary of when our national title holders graced the stage and they were crowned as the title holders that they are today. So we're going to talk about that and share about that. And so right now, I'm just going to allow all the different, I'm on like 4 different Facebook pages and my profile, as well as we're YouTube as well. We're on LinkedIn. We are on, the 3 main systems right now. And so we're giving time for it to catch up, for others to know that we are live. And I am excited about today. Let me know what city, state, and country you are watching me from. We're excited about our new national ambassadors, our new state ambassadors. We're really excited about an ambassador, both of them actually from Illinois. And we're going to hear from our national title holder from Illinois today. So we're coming to you today from Mississippi, Wisconsin, Illinois, and the Sunshine State of Florida. And maybe there may be some other special guests that will be joining us. So welcome. I see you, Lady Diana, Queen Diana, officially. She hails from Illinois, and she's now a national ambassador who will be crowned next week on the day of crowning. So 20 is the number of crown. It's also the number of anointing and the number of laying of the hands. So we will be using our hands to crown, as well as lay our hands to sash some of the males that are already in our pageant. We're excited about our first Mr. Division. That's Mr. Jonathan Haynes. And he will be getting sashed and receiving the scepter as a prince. So Prince Jonathan, if you are watching us, we are excited to have you as a part of our pageant. We have some firsts. We have Nancy Crutcher, who also hails from Illinois. And we're excited about Nancy joining us as an ambassador from an opposite race. And she's really just saying, hey, I got you. We have with us this evening also our very first Mrs. and our very first actually for the pageant this year. So we hosted our nationals last year, but the first contestant to join the pageant this year is Mrs. Shanita Nolan and her husband, Mr. Nolan. And I know she's been really keeping up with our queen, Donna, because she's over the Mrs. Division, and all the other Mrs. Division have been really connecting. So welcome, Shanita. Thanks for joining us. Antonio is in the house. Genesis, of course, Antonio going to be in the house once you know Genesis is on. He's one of our biggest supporters. We thank you so much. It's so good to see the males out supporting. Thank you so much. We have our national ambassador who will be crowned and sashed, Mrs. Clarice Winters, who's also on here joining us. Jonathan, greetings. Jonathan is going to be giving us some tunes, you know, when he comes to be sashed and to receive his scepter as the prince. When Joseph first went into the palace, he was a prince. And so Prince Jonathan is stepping into his palace season, and he's elevating his profession, his career, his life, and we're really excited about that. So I think Facebook has caught up to me now. So if you let me know what city, what state, what country you're watching me from, if you are a part of our pageant, if you can just put your title in the chat, that would be so awesome, because I will share with that momentarily and go from there. So we have joining us, as I stated before, a couple guests, and I'm looking in the virtual green room, and I'm still waiting for our Mrs. Black America Senior. And I hope all is well. She was ready. And so if those in the virtual green room, or those who are watching me in the chat from our MMBA pageant, if you can let Lady Kathy Amos know, Mrs. Amos, that she is, we're waiting for her. So welcome again. Good evening. We're excited about the crowning of a nation. I'm going to show you a little quick video before I introduce our first guest, because it will actually introduce her. So let me see if I find that video. All right, here we go.
2019 Ms. Black America is Genesis Hall.
So that is Ms. Black America, Genesis Hall, but I was actually going to show the video for Mrs. Black America, which is Donna Lindsay, and because she is my first guest that I will be bringing on, because she has a limited time with us, because there's a birthing coming in our family, and also I show her clip afterwards. And so I just want to welcome, and we're going to knock it out this evening. We're going to be quick, because guess what? This time, 1 week from today, this time right now at 7:08 p.m. Central, 8:08 Eastern, we would be in our reception, our post crowning. So we have our crownings next week, the crowning of a nation, from 4 p.m. to about 6 p.m. Then it's photos, and then we go live on the Dr. Carolyn Show. So if you've ever watched any of the national pageants, or like an Emmy Award or the Grammys, you notice that right away they go onto a talk show that is in the same place. And normally it's either Jimmy Kimmel, it used to be Oprah. And so we're going to go on the Dr. Carolyn Show for a quick minute next week, right after all the crownings and after all the national queens do their walk and showcase their excellency and their platform and that which they have been doing over the year. And so, in spite of COVID-19. And so we're going to knock it out today. We're going to tell you about the pageant. We're going to share about what next week is all about. And so let me bring out our first guest, who is Mrs. Black America. And that's actually the hailing from Florida, my original state, still my state, my hometown. And so welcome to the show. Oh, Lady Donna, how are you? You're on mute. Oh, let's see. Let's get you off mute.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now. Awesome. I like your crown. You're looking all nice. You got to adjust the crown.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. She's our brown blonde.
Yes.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see you and Tony.
Yes.
So we have many folks that are on here watching us from all over, and you are still in your reign, and actually you continue. And so in the 2020, there's a double. So you will continue in your reign all the way until the 2021 pageant. So I just showed a clip of Genesis video. I have one of yours where that moment, because it was like, I remember, you was like, okay, I'm leaving in the morning. You just came, you were a part of it, but was not thinking that, oh my God, it's going to be my husband and I that have this national title. And you came with such grace, just was like, I'm going to support whoever it is. But you didn't know what God had in store for you, huh?
Not at all. Not at all. And even before you called the names, people were nudging him in the back. They were nudging me in the front. And we were like, no, we're going to support whoever the king and the queen are, whatever we can do to make your lives easy.
Right.
And
yeah, I remember you telling me that, because I'm just like, what's this camaraderie on the stage, right?
Yeah.
Because, a little backstory, guys. I had a TV personality that was supposed to be doing the announcements, because of course I can't crown because you don't have a predecessor. So I was the one to crown all the title holders, because this year, like, Donna will crown the Mrs. and Genesis do the Ms. and then Kathy the senior division. So because it's the inaugural, I had to do all of it. So we had a TV personality who was coming to be the host, but I knew that breaking news take precedence over the pageant. So she didn't show, but as leadership, right, Donna, you don't show people that stuff not in order. You make it become in order. So I'm like, where did I see them? So we're calling, I'm going back and forth, and we're calling out the second runner-up, the third runner-up, the fourth runner-up, and all that kind of stuff. And Donna's not hearing her name. So I did remember hearing this talking, and I remember it was Sean, and then like Mrs. Maryland. They were like, "It's gonna be you. It's gonna be you." And I'm like, "What are they talking about?" Like, I do remember it so vividly. I'm like, "Oh my God, can you take the stress?" I'm like, "What's the problem?" I was like, "Did I put the wrong sash on somebody?" Because I was thinking I did something wrong.
Oh no, that was that. Yeah, they were being so encouraging, and that's one of the things that I've been saying since day one.
Right.
That the MMBA pageant brings is relationship. I'm still in contact with these women.
Right.
They're amazing. They are amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
And across the board, because it's even in the Ms. division, you have some relationships with them. And then we have Kathy, who, it was another surprise, because it wasn't until about 2 days before the pageant that we became approved to have the senior division.
Oh, okay.
And so in the Mrs., Mr. and Mrs., we had it for the Ms., but not for the Mr. and Mrs., because we didn't have anyone at that age group. So we thought.
Okay.
And so then they were like, well, I remember Kathy saying something about Joe, next year will be 70. I said, wait a minute, Joe is over 60? Because, Joe got swag, right?
Joe looks good. Yes.
And I'm like, ain't no way dude is over 60. And so that qualifies them. So I asked them, do they want us to tell people their division has switched? Or she wanted to go through, though. So she wanted to go through and just make it be a surprise. And so we are full of surprises at the pageant, are we?
Yes.
We have a lot of surprises. So Donna, there has been, we're officially next year, it will be all 50 states represented. We right now have more in the pageant, because it's like every day someone is just joining. Right now we have at least about 13 or 14 people in the application process, and they're trying to speed it up so they can come, next week. But I'm just like, I can't, because it takes a background check. We have to do that because we legally have to do that. And so that's what takes a long time. It takes about 5 to 7 days, but they're joining every day. We have over 30 people, and this is more than we even have for the national. So we're going to be a full pageant, full every state represented. And I know for Antonio and you guys have represented so well with such class. And there's someone that's watching that is saying, I'm not a pageant girl. And that's what I want you to talk on, because you also said the same thing. And most of them that was in the pageant said the same thing. So what would you tell that person? Because I know they're watching. Or even the husband, because I remember when you told Tony, he's like, what? So I want you to talk on that.
Well, this is my story. I might need to just write it in a book, but I was a tomboy, self-proclaimed tomboy. My husband is a head football coach. I'm the team mom. So I'm used to being on the football field with a bunch of guys,
Right, right,
possibly sometimes throwing and catching the ball, chasing after, kids and just having a good time. So, to actually have someone think to recommend me to be a
right,
part of this amazing pageant was like, at first I laughed, because I don't see myself as that queen.
right.
What I would definitely say to any young lady, any couple that is embarking on this journey, it really isn't about us. It's about what we were created to do. It's about, and it goes back to one of the pillars of the pageant, which is
Right.
we are a pageant with a purpose. And it's all about our purpose in the earth. And
Right,
God has called us king and he has called us queen.
right.
And I had to put away my jeans and my tennis shoes, and I had to pick up my heels and pick up my rhinestones and my gorgeous crown.
Yes, yes,
And
you
I
wear
had
very
to
well.
evolve into this queen that I was already ordained to be.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. It was always in us, and there is a queen in everyone. Like Genesis would normally say, the queen in me recognizes the queen in you, and vice versa. The queen recognizes the king. So we're all born. If you're female and with a womb, we are born queens, and we're also born wives too. And but somewhere along the journey, life takes this detour. And there is, royalty. One of the purposes of the pageant is to establish royalty in the United States because it's not here.
Correct.
Us being from the Caribbean, West Indians, and being the Queen's way of living from Europe is what we know. It's what the Caribbean know. It's what Africa actually knows. They're very king, queen, prince driven and royal, but not in the United States. We look at glam and that's what we define kind of somewhat celebrity status to be, but it's not the glam. It's royalty is a place that you carry yourself a certain way, and you all just represent that. So it was always in you. And a huge part of the pageant as we go forward is to mentor these young ladies about how royal they are, how exquisite they are. I had my thing up here. I was going to show you and Tony on the float because it's my favorite thing. I watch it sometimes a lot. And so before you go, anything you want to share? And we're excited about next week, and it's a very prophetic moment, as you know, a defining moment. It's a biblical new year. It is also the collision of time. So that 20 and in the month that we are just stepping forward, and it's a new year. And so right now we are in a rush trying to get some of those applications to be approved, especially around the Midwest, because it's easier to travel. But there is a whole nother level of, I can't even describe the word. Maybe you can. When we come together. When we're in that room, when you walk into the room in the space and you see each other, it's the anointing. That's all it really is. And that the glory of the Lord that is upon us is just rest on it because he's a king. And so he loves the whole royal thing. And so for those who are coming, because we have a lot of our pageant participants on here, just tell us, relax. It's going to be fun. It's going to be so enjoying because when you came, it was the same thing. Everyone didn't know each other. We knew each other from Facebook, but not like in person. So just before you go, just share with them just how awesome this is going to be, why they should show up, because every ticket is it has to be purchased. So whether the person is watching virtually, but we want them to join us because it's significant. You are always, and all of the others that are on here will be known as the firsts. And so you want to be a first at the inaugural, crowning of a nation. We'll have it again, but it'll be the second, right? So I just want you to talk on that before you go for just a minute, and then we'll have you go do your baby duties.
And it's so amazing because last year this time, my brother and my sister-in-law were at the pageant. They drove over from Chicago.
They sure
and
were. Yeah.
We're so excited to be a part, and just the excellence and the royalty that they witnessed.
Right.
They got there within enough time to position themselves to get a great seat. And, of course, my brother, he's 10 years younger than me. So he's like, my sister's in a pageant, but he did not expect what he saw. And so for those of you that live in the local area that can drive over, possibly from Illinois, or you're right there in Wisconsin, this is a moment that you definitely do not want to miss. For those of you that are watching virtually, I was the queen of watch parties. Florida had it going on down here. I must have had like 5 watch parties going on that night, just celebrating us. And that's a way that you can also show support to those individuals that are going to be a part of this pageant.
Right.
So please, if you haven't purchased a ticket, you definitely want to purchase a ticket so that you can be a part of this life-changing experience in the life of your loved one.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much, Donna. We're so excited to have you and to see you next week. Actually, this week. Yeah,
Right.
this week. Oh my God.
Yeah, in a few days.
Yeah. And so we're excited. We have fun things. We have team activities that we have planned. You guys have your divisional meetings that you'll have with your respective divisions. And I know they're going to have questions. And that's the cool thing, is you will not be left alone when you're in this pageant. In fact, you'll get an over influx of information, which reminds me too, Donna. So if you will just put back again, because since the time you put about the caboodle, the time you put that in the chat that we have, our private group, we've had about 6 or 7 people. So if you get some time, put that in again, because everyone that's coming, the queens, you all need a caboodle to carry your crown, because this is the real crown. All right. You don't want it to be, the crystals are very soft and they're easy to break, and so you don't want them to get damaged. All right. Thank you so much, Donna. I can't wait to see you, and let us know about the baby, because
I will. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Awesome. That was Mrs. Black America, Donna. We're so excited. She's such an amazing, amazing woman. Just a beautiful spirit, and so kind and loving, and very, her husband, oh my God, it's like my I was gonna say my second husband, but that might sound like polygamy, but I just love him so much. He is such a, like, nothing bothers him. In fact, all the men in the pageant are like that, isn't it? I mean, Joe is like that. Cavell is like that. James is like that. Who else do we have? As Jonathan, I don't know Jonathan really well yet, but he just seems to be a pretty laid back guy. So we have with us, that's joined us. Finally, the queen has arrived. I can see her in the virtual green room. And so we are going to introduce to some and present to others, Mrs. Black America, Kathy Amos, hailing all the way from Mississippi. Welcome, Kathy.
Good evening. How are you?
I am just wonderful. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful evening.
Glad to be here.
You look amazing. Just awesome. Yeah. I feel like I haven't slept, not because I'm tired, but because I saw you yesterday, Donna. I saw Genesis. Is like, because the virtual world has become like the in-person world. Right. And so you had an amazing Queen Bee event yesterday for the ladies. It started from Friday, and it's a movement, and so you're going to continue and do that. And so we just had Donna, who we're having a new baby in the family, just like we had Caitlin. So Donna's brother and sister-in-law, who was at the pageant last year, are having their first child. So she had to run and go check. They're at 10 centimeters. So it's almost baby time. So what do you want to share? You've been a regular on with me, as well as our other guest that's coming here in a minute. What do you want to share with the people? So we're talking about the crowning of a nation. We want them to be there. We are just multiplying every single day. We want the room to be filled COVID compliant. And so due to us having the chairs 6 feet apart, yes, we can't accommodate that many. But Kathy, what is it like to be a part of something that's inaugural? that is like that first, that is the history making. Why should they be a part of this?
Well, I can say that I have witnessed the first of a lot of different events, and to be the first to embrace, witness,
Mhm.
create, um, and just participate
Right,
in a first thing that's happening in the earth in this season and in this time is just so phenomenal, so critical that we involve ourselves in things that are happening in the earth in this season,
right.
because it will never come around again. You can never get back a first thing. It
Never.
will look, the things that are witnessed, the things that God does in a first movement, it can only be witnessed and shared by those who are in the room.
Right.
So it is critical that every single one of you under the sound of my voice, whether you're able to attend virtually
Right.
or on site, you need to witness a crowning of a nation.
That's
It's
right.
pivotal. It's pivotal. It's going to be transformational. It's going to be very inspiring, and it's going to make you cry, because I tell you, there's not a time that we have had one of these events that there were uh, like tissue everywhere, wet snotting and everything, trying to keep makeup from running, and family members there supporting, tearing and
Right.
yelling, screaming, and yay! So it's a very, very exciting time, Dr.
It
Carey.
sure is. And the queen has spoken. We can just drop the mic, right, Genesis, end the show. Like the queen, I gotta get me a mic. In fact, you know what I bought, Kathy? So I bought the bling that goes over the mic.
Oh,
That's how bling we're gonna be at the pageant. So we're
oh
all
yeah,
like blinged out. We're
oh
gonna
yeah.
have a royal time. And Kathy, as Donna had just shared, what you just shared, you sealed the deal, because there won't be another moment. So we'll have other opportunities. It's no different than Back to the Garden. There'll never be another first, right? So, but we'll
Right.
continue to have them. And we know people will, if you don't hear and know what's going on, you don't know and you don't hear. But it is so significant that you're a part of this historical moment. And so we have virtual tickets. So we're not going to go live to the public. This is such an exquisite, upscale royal event that we just don't share this out for just any person just to see and to witness. So if you would like to be able to watch us and to be able to be a part of it, so even though you may not be one that's being crowned physically or being sashed, you want to be a part of it by witnessing and being so by joining us virtually to be in the private group where you can watch this significant moment in time. For
Absolutely.
health reasons, we do have some of our amazing title holders who won't be able to join us this time physically, but they're joining us virtually. And so they are a part of this momentous moment. And one of them is Ms. Mississippi, who Kimberly Rome, for just health reasons. And we're so excited for her. She's watching us tonight. So Kimberly, we're so excited that you are a world changer, phenomenal speaker, and that your gift will make room for you, and that the test that you've gone through is just simply a testimony. So I want to share about her. We also have Sabrina, who also, just for certain health reasons, is not able to join us in person. And she's our first Ms. Pennsylvania. So she's inaugural, and so is Ms. Colorado. She'll be there, though, in person. That's Lady Beverly Moore. She'll be in person, but she's also another inaugural. So this pageant just continued to experience first and first and first. And as I was sharing, even your posture of how you were crowned the very first time is just representative of how royal our pageant really is. So we're excited about that. We also have Mississippi is on here. Mississippi just they love lights, action, camera. And Mississippi is doing some things because y'all changing the song, the flag. I see all kinds of stuff because all that foolishness that happened in the past, it just got to go. We don't have time for that. And Kathy, you and your team down there are one of the keys that are unlocking the doors. And you in particular, The minute you said yes, which was a place of surrender and humility for you and your amazing husband, Mr. Swag Joe, that's his new name, that it has opened up so many avenues, doors, portals, access. And one of the questions that I get, or one of the denials or a rejection that I receive, is that I don't have time for pageant. And I said, actually, being in the pageant allows you to do less. You get more done with less time because the sash and the crown speaks for you. And those opportunities that were locked up, once you become a part and be crowned with God's glory, he just catapults that. There is so many stories you can share, but just a couple, just one for the next minute that we have you here while we bring up Ms. Black America. And then I'll put you in the green room, and then we're going to bring you back on so the both of you are on to have our final conversation. But just one thing that you can share, that saying yes, because you're saying yes to God. It's the pageant is both a servitude and a leadership organization. It's the first of its kind, and royalty is already established, and now we're continuing to elevate that. I don't know if you heard what I shared, but we are officially going to have all 50 states represented next year. So in our 2021, pageant truly, and we're working on having it actually be televised. So that's our goal, that it will become one of those major pageant, because it already is. You know what the history we made, you know how many people wanted to be a part of it, but could not. We actually turned down a lot of people last year. So, and so it's not just a simple process. It is those who are in leadership, and you have to already know your purpose. So we're looking for those who already know their purpose, and all you're doing now is using that purpose to be elevated and to shine. So just one thing, Kathy, that you just want to share that's on your heart, because it was so many people have joined the pageant from our lives. They really do send a message. We are actually taking the royalty to the world. And so it's almost like the gospel, right?
Yeah.
One thing you want to share before we bring on our Ms. Black America.
Well, Dr. Carolyn, God has just opened a lot of doors for us, television-wise, interviews. We've been grand marshals and parades, and had the opportunity to go before our mayors and be presented with proclamations and all of this good stuff, simply because we said yes to the crown and the sash. And it carries a certain respect that when people see you
Right.
in your title, walking in excellence, walking in royalty, it instantly gives them a message that you need to be in their space.
Absolutely.
And so the investment of coming in and saying yes to the call is saying yes to my community, saying
Right.
yes to my state, and then ultimately saying yes to the United States, the continent, saying, yes, I'm open to be used by God to do whatever it is that God has put in me for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I saw the thing that's on our screen that says, if not now, then when. And one of the things a lot of people miss their season, Kathy, you know what I'm speaking of, is because they procrastinate, or they got to take a time to go and do this and to talk about this. And I just even pray even for the couples, because we are looking for the couples to become a part of the pageant, and it just, the Ms. and everyone, the senior division, and we need the seniors to step up, because we're looking for your leadership. You have the wisdom. There's such a wisdom that comes with age. And I remember when Kathy first, prior to being in the senior division, she was just hanging out with them young, 28-year-old, 30. She was just like, I know. I was like, I love her. And when my husband and I, when we were at back to the garden marriage retreat, I'm just like, oh my God, she's so full of life. Joe was just sitting there with them young cats, like, I got the wisdom. Did y'all see my wife? Did you? He even said that because remember, we switched off. I met with the men, Kevin met with the ladies.
Right.
Switch, and you were in severe pain from a tooth problem that you were having, but you showed up because you understand what it means to show up. So even if you're going through some stuff, have a toothache, just come on up and stuff, and then go back and take care of it. So thank you so much, Kathy. I'm gonna have you just hang out in the virtual green room while I bring on Miss Black America on the stage. So, all right. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Thank you.
All right, folks. So you heard that firsthand. The queen has spoken. Like I said, I can just drop the mic. I wish I had a mic because I would drop it, because when Kathy speaks, she demands the room. And Genesis can tell you this. So welcome our first Black America Ms. Division to the show. No other than Ms. Genesis Hall. How are you, lady?
I am wonderful. Greetings to you. Yes.
How you doing? How you doing? I'm trying to, I'm trying to maintain myself, Genesis.
I know it's hard.
Oh my God, this week, what this week means, what Sunday means, what the following Sunday means, right?
Yeah.
Because we're in that season of the new year. We're in Rosh Hashanah. We're in Yom Kippur. We're in the biblical time. God has allowed the space to be available for us to have the crowning in a brand new place. It's like, who does that? Like, who, hosts a crowning of a nation? Like, it's not even something that exists, which means that every single person that is here and will be participating, whether virtually or in person, they're being part of something that is like creation. Because we're in the image. So, Genesis, did you see my video I showed them? I'll show my video again of you. So just hang on a moment there. So this was Genesis, y'all, getting crowned. I think she dropped the crown. I didn't do it. She did. So just watch the. Did your crown fall?
It's slightly moved. Significantly.
Significantly moved. I am going to use that. I promise you I'm going to use that. Yeah, there you go. She's straightening the crown. That's an event I have coming up, actually. That's called Positioning Your Crown. So let's just watch this for a moment.
2019 Ms. Black America is Genesis Hall.
All right. So we got it together. You walked down. You were nervous, weren't you?
It wasn't even necessarily the nerves. I was overwhelmed with emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't necessarily nervous emotions.
Uh-huh.
It was a shock. It was just literally a wowing and almost a misbelief, because like Queen Donna, I was kicking my heels up in third place and I was, ready to just celebrate the other queens. And then I looked and my heart was like, whoa. And I became so shocked. And it was, I mentioned this in the past before, it was like the little girl in me began to just say, really?
Mm-hmm.
And I began to connect with the understanding of that, even the more that it wasn't about me. It was for every little girl who may have experienced some kind of trauma,
Mm-hmm.
who may have never felt good enough,
Mm-hmm.
who had experiences of being second or being third or being last. But it became the moment where I was able to just stand for them. And it became so much even the more bigger than just me. And that's where that feeling of being overwhelmed, like, wow, I am representing the nation. I am representing something so much bigger than me. And so my body was shaking because it was like this flooding of understanding to the core of who I am, of wow, we entered into this moment, not for just me, but for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a us moment. And, Donna said the same thing, that she wasn't even like, thinking that, she would be the one. And it's not even, like you said, and it's not even about being that national title holder, because we promote so much about being the state title holder, to work in your community, to get to lead, because that even when you win nationals, you actually go back to your state, right? And so you're and so you said it so eloquently and so well that you were representing all those little girls, because a huge part of the pageant, I have that photo with that girl grabbing onto my leg, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the security I was VIP at Donna McClurkin concert, and I was walking in the backstage, and she pushed through and she broke down the fence and everything, and they were running after her, and I said, no, this is what it's about. I wear this sash. This is expensive sash, and she was like a real princess, and that is what it's about.
Yes.
Being able to be touchable and reachable, so that what they're seeing on television or even now on Netflix and YouTube, that is not what's leading our generation. That's not what's leading our young people, regardless of color. Because we are, a pageant. We're pageant with a purpose, but we have all colors, diversity in our pageant, because we are taking a stand to show that in the Black, brown, biracial, and even mixed couples, that we are not all what you see on TV. We are professionals, we're educators, we are ministers, we are clinical therapists as yourself, we are entrepreneurs, we are doctors, we're lawyers. We represent a bigger place in the kingdom and a place in the United States than that. So it was just a so for real moment. There was every now and then there's a little pageant drama, but that's expected. But for the majority of it, it was truly a family, and that's who we are.
Yes, it really was.
Now, when we get a new royal person to join us, we celebrate.
Absolutely.
We're not even looking at your title. We're just excited that you're here and that you're king and queen, reigning prince and princess. And so we have Nancy on here. She said, breathe, Genesis. So Nancy's your sidekick, Ebony and Ivory. You guys are like, cookie.
Now, I finally got her in 3 dresses.
You did. Awesome. So Nancy is a trip. So I remember our national communicator, Natasha King, not because we have another Natasha in the pageant. No, I had to think hard because I was going to say Roach, because that's her original starting name. And then through the pageant, it was actually changed. Natasha King said, "Oh my God, Nancy made my cheeks hurt." She said, "Nancy is hilarious." And so Nancy is on fire. What did you say, Genesis?
I said, Nancy's on fire. She's teaching the catwalk to our Mrs. Black America 2019 senior. I mean, she's on fire. She's telling people to put some swag in it. I mean, Nancy.
Oh my God. I can't wait. This is going to be hilarious. I can't wait. I can't wait. She is so fun, and she, she's an activator, Genesis, and we know that you and Carrie Ann are probably about to groom her as a pillar, because she is in everything. She's a mega lifer. She is in the royal pageant. She is a Kailer. She's in our university. Nancy, I'm all in. What y'all got? What else do you have? And so we're so excited. Thank you for that. That's another thing that we do in our pageant. We're relational.
That's
and
right.
So I met Nancy through you. We connect with each other. We share. We always remember from whom the relationship initiated. And we're just one big, happy, loving family. I'm really excited about that. So there's someone that's watching Genesis who's saying, I'm not a pageant girl. I'm not a pageant man. What y'all doing with that stuff? What's this royal conversation y'all talking about? What's all them crowns and the sashes and all that kind of stuff? We even got the bling mask. So, I don't care what they say, that we cannot be stopped. The queen is in the house. So we are blinged. I got my bracelet right here. Was making too. So I took it off. What do you want to say to them as we get ready to bring back Mr. and Mrs. Joe and Kathy Amos?
I will say a couple of things, but I'll keep it very short and simple. And the biggest piece is understanding when you are positioned on purpose and in purpose, that when you step to the plate, that you will catapult and you're going to shift things significantly. And it's not just about you. It is about arising as a leader and showcasing brilliancy, because brilliancy is not about just shining for yourself, but it's literally giving other people permission to shine. And so one of the things I will say is that so many people have been sitting in the background, sitting in what I like to call in a case, but now it's time to showcase, opening up that case itself, and beginning to just rise up as the diamond, as the gem, as the brilliant young man or young woman that you are, the king and the king and queen and the king. And it's time for you to now shine. Shine bright for those who are looking forward to you. It has been so many people who have stories. The queens and kings have so many stories about how this has opened up opportunities. I tell you, my life has significantly changed. My family has changed. We have people in my family, my mother embracing royalty at such a significant level that has given her like a second wind, a second. I've had individuals who
and your mom is now our newest royalty. She was announced yesterday, and she's always been in the pageant. You know, she just show up. Last year at nationals, I was like, okay, only your makeup artist can be back in the room. I went back there, Lady Diana. She all up
pictures, right?
Oh well,
yeah,
yeah. She's been in the pageant. She traveled with us. Every time me and you said we going somewhere, she said, did you know she had her bags packed? She had 2 dresses picked out. This lady don't play.
Yeah, we've been on the phone all day, all night.
And we know what that happens in Kyle.
Oh my word.
I'm sorry. As you were saying, you know, even your family. I see Antonio is on here too. Hersey, is that how you say his name?
Yes.
So he's just really like just so supportive of you.
Absolutely. He's such a man too. Another cousin who's actually coming VIP. She will be coming to join us again. Like literally her life was shifted because of what she saw with individuals showcasing their brilliancies. And that's what just is so amazing. Like she's now on the dean's list in college. When she dropped out a while back and wasn't going back, though, she noticed what she saw with the brilliancy that was being rocked, the royalty that was on display. And what happened was that she decided that she needed to make an impact too. And she was going back to school, and she did it. She worked hard. And not only did she just go back, but she went out there, and now she's showcasing brilliancy as well. She's blowing the mind of people who thought she couldn't do it. And so there are individuals out there just like me who said, I never would have thought I would have been in a pageant. I never would have thought that this was something for me. But I tell you, the leader in you is necessary for you as that leader to step up and showcase brilliancy. Get out of the case, and it's time to showcase. Rise up as the brilliant individual that you are, and rock your royal, represent royalty, elegance, excellency, and come forth as the leader you are. We have millions of people who are waiting for you.
Absolutely. And like I always say, people are dying when you don't step into your purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yep, it's a pageant with a purpose, and we're stepping out in purpose and on purpose. And guess what? It is time for you to rock your royal and represent your royalty well right now. So we're waiting for you, leader.
That's right. Also, I love it. I love it. And so we're going to bring Kathy and Joe as we are coming to a close for our show, and stay on with us, Genesis. And yes, we are a pageant with a purpose. What do we mean by that? We're not just a pageant. So it's not just what you typically see a pageant do. We actually have purposes in which we are fulfilling. We also are creating. One of our purposes to create strong families, strong marriages, strong community, and a strong economy. And so we are creating wealth. We are building houses. We are building transformation centers. We're helping the poor, the widow, the homeless. And we are also, one of the awesomeness that I love about our Ms. division is that, you know, the divorced women who not on anything of their own can still come and be a part and say, you know what, I'm shining bright. I'm wearing this crown. I'm wearing the sash because I know that my Mr. is right around the corner. And even if they have no desire to be married, this is what I love. It is that you can you brush it off, you go through, because sometimes, you know, especially in divorce situations, it's not something you get married to do. But does it happen? Absolutely. And so we want everyone to be embracive and to be able to say we're all a part of this royalness. We are creating wealth. We are building strong families. We're building strong marriages. We're building an economy. We are shifting earth. We are crowning a nation. They're coming from the east, the west, the north, and the south. And we are just so delighted. We have ambassadors who are ones that serve and lead simultaneously. And, you know, that we just have so many more purposes. Sometimes we drop some prophetic words here and there, you know, you never know what's going to happen, you know, call you aside and give you a word from the Lord. So show up, be there. We have fun too.
That's right.
So we do a lot of fun stuff, and we are one of those we're going to be playing is called Whirly Ball. It is like hockey, but not, you don't hit nobody. You're using a net to score a goal, but you're in go-karts. And so we're going to have that. We have some team building exercises. Last year we had bling bingo.
Oh, yes.
That got ruthless.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. There was money involved. There was a money. And we brought each other gifts, you know.
We sure
we brought each other gifts, and we're just excited about that. So Kathy and Joe has finally joined us. The king has arrived.
Yes, yes.
Hello, King Joe. How are you?
Doing well. Just kind of tired.
Oh, you tired, Joe?
I've been working all day.
Doing what?
I had to minister at 2 different places.
Oh, okay. You had to minister. All right. That is tiring. Talking does drain you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can change your shirt. Did you change your shirt? Because you know you sweat when you preach.
No, she didn't let me change it.
She said, but the cool thing is though, Joe, that color, you know, it's we're our royal blue is a part of what we do. And so you're in the blue family. So you're good. You're good. Joe, I want you to tell really quick, these men that are watching, or the wives that are watching whose husbands is saying, we don't do pageants in this house, because we are a pageant with a purpose. So we're not the typical pageant that you see that is catfighty. We are purpose driven. We are mature. We are loyal. We are classy. We are leaders. We don't argue. We don't fuss and fight. And we celebrate those as they rise, right? Whomever, you know, Kathy is, I'll just declare the winner of the CEO of the year. And, you know, it's a voting. So we just support her. She had her event yesterday. There was about half of the folks was from the pageant or Kyle, one or the other. And so that's how we work with each other. So for the men, Joe, I want you to share with them just how this is such a different place. It's such a royal place. It's such a different space before we close out here.
Yes, it's such an honor. But let me say this before I get into that. Tonight at the service, this evening at the service, it was a couple of people just watching me because they thought they knew me. And then when I got up to preach, the Lord said, prophesy to that lady. I began to prophesy to her. And she hollered, I know where I know you from now. You're the Black King.
Hey, Wakanda forever.
Right. I couldn't hardly finish. That was Kurt. But she was right. She said, I saw y'all on TV. She just forgot about her prophecy.
I love it. This is so awesome.
But
Oh my God. I love
what Genesis said about, you all were saying about, we are people that you can touch. Now, goes back to when we was came back to Mississippi from you crowning us. My classmates, they came up and they began to be around me. They touched me because when we grew up, we couldn't touch that. We couldn't do that. I'm still me, but they still had to touch me.
I'm loving this.
and said something to think it was real. But then there's one guy, he knew because he had been all around the world. He knew it was real. And he said, we're going to celebrate him. So they took me out to eat and all of that. But what I'm saying to the men that's saying they're too old or they can't do this, you're going to have to let the Lord use you now. Because that's what he's doing with me. He taking me places that I never been before. He take me places that I desired to go. And another thing, I wanted to go back to school. I always say my age. I always say, well, Lord, I don't know. But I'm in school now.
Right. You sure are. You that black king. You are part of the mega life, signed up forever. Hey, maybe Marvel needs to come and get you to be the new
next. The next black king.
But I'm glad you in there church me tonight. I'm glad you wasn't there because you probably still been crying now.
I know. And that is to Genesis too. I know they wanted to know if you were real. Them little kids, they touch your crown, they be messing up your sash. Yeah. And
crayons and markers. Like,
what you say?
Crayons and markers. You're like,
they had crayons and markers. They didn't know if she was real. Because the closest thing they saw to a princess is, what's that movie, The Princess and the Frog? There's one black princess, girl, lady. That those movies where you know what I'm talking about, those Disney movies. There's one black girl that's in there. Yeah, it's just one. And so one of the cool things about our pageant, again, like I said, most of the ambassadors that will even be coming forth will be whites. And so that's been a vision that the Lord has shown me. And so that's why Nancy, being of, again, the opposite race of being black, is so amazing. Well, she black inside. Because you can't tell me nothing about that. Well, she half a black inside, so she mixed. Here's why she half a black. She and Genesis go walking and stuff like that a lot. And if Nancy hears some sound in the woods, Genesis run, Nancy run to the sound. And so that
with the rifle. With the rifle, though.
I know. And so she got a rifle? A real one?
Oh, Nancy's packing. She kills squirrels.
She was
yeah, Nancy's the bodyguard. She's not just look. She's not an ambassador.
She's a bodyguard. That's why she's an ambassador. Yeah, so in all seriousness, this is how much we have fun, and this is what the pageant is also about. One of our purposes is to have the race conversations in just a joke form, because it exists. People say, "Oh, I'm so colorblind." I say, I need you to see my color. I don't want you to be colorblind. I know what they're trying to say, but they're trying to be politically correct. No, there are some things that only black people do. There's some things that Indians do, that whites do. Let's celebrate it. It's hilarious.
Yes.
And so I love it. I love the jokes. I love the camaraderie. I love how we get to shine and bling out. Like, I look for things that glisten. I always was. And stuff. I got earrings everywhere. They just be shining. And Joe, that sash, like when I see you walk with it, I see James, because James and Natasha, they wear, I'm gonna get them some new ones because they really wear those sashes and stuff.
Amen.
When you are enthroned with that, and you're given the scepter, it's saying something without you even have to open your mouth, right?
That's right.
It is saying that I'm giving you, because it was the scepter that the king held up, that why Esther was not murdered, because in the law of the land, then she could not come in without being called in. And so, that's really good right there, because we are coming in and called in. You see what I'm saying? This is awesome. The king has called us in. Yes. So I'm really excited. Thank you guys so much for being available to be able to be online with me today. There are so many comments and so many people that is sharing and giving blessings. We have international ambassador Carrie Ann, who will be joining us. Jamaican by way of Virginia, so she'll be coming with us. We have Mississippi coming in trains, buses, planes. They're coming deep from the south. And we have Louisiana. I'm so excited about Louisiana, because that's like inaugural. And in fact, we got an application in today for Louisiana. I'm like, Wakanda forever. We already and we have Florida coming, Colorado, we have Pennsylvania, Georgia. How can I forget the ATL? We have Ms. Natasha that's coming, as well as Mr. and Mrs. Shamika Bennett and her husband, Christopher Bennett. I don't know how I remember all these names. When it get to 150, I'm not going to be able to. I'm just going to call them their states, which is what we do anyway. So we're excited about that. The national title holders will be there. thank God I have help now. So they'll be doing the crownings. And so we're excited about that. Come and enjoy with us. Watch us virtually. Virtual tickets are $22. There's no sales at the door. We do not handle any money. Plus, we can't, because legally the hotel has to have the seating arranged from the day before. And so it's COVID compliant. So you will be 6 feet apart from each other. And we have elite VIP, which are the first 2 rows, and then VIP, which are the rows behind, and then the general attendees. And general is just $25. And virtual to watch us again is $22. It will not be broadcast just to, everyone. It's a private royal event. And so if you want to be a part of this momentous time, please join us online and or in person, but you have to register by next week, Thursday. What date is that? The 18th, 19th? No, the 20th is Sunday, 19th is Saturday.
17th.
The 17th. So you have to be registered by the 17th. So join us. You'll get to see Kathy and Joe again in those amazing dresses, and the posture that they carry themselves in is such royal place. And you got your tux, Joe? You got your tux ready? You do. Okay. I know you do. You got swag. You got a couple of them. So Kathy and Joe, I'm going to have you give your final minute message, then Genesis, and then we just close.
Life is short, and we have today. Let's make it mega. Let's make life great. Let's make life good again. Let's go for everything that is in us, because there is greatness down on the inside that is just waiting to evolve, erupt. Come on, people. Let's get on the bandwagon and roll.
That's right. Awesome. All right, Genesis. Or Joe. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
She said enough. I'm gonna let Genesis go. Okay. I'm in agreement with everything she just said. Let us roll.
I love it. Go ahead, Genesis.
Well, I'm just excited about getting in the room with the people who are just brilliant. I'm excited about getting amongst leaders. I am excited about how we are going to shift the nation. The nation is in need of royalty to arise. And guess what? The MMBA USA Global Pageant is coming up, stepping up to the place at such a time as this. Yes, we arise. And guess what? You don't want to be left out. You too can be a part of the nation, the mega nation, the MMBA nation. You could be a part of this holy nation. You
That's right. I like it.
And we definitely want you to be a part of the coronation. And so we don't want you to delay on coming, and not only just coming, but coming with expectation, coming with celebration, coming with a victorious mindset to know that on that day, not only are you celebrating royalty, but you also are beginning to shift things on the inside of you too. Because what we know is when we celebrate the ones that show up, you are shifting also your life. You're shifting your atmosphere. You are causing even you to be healthier by doing such a thing. So if you are in one of the 50 states here, then we need to make sure that you are a part of the USA Global Pageant as well as the MMBA pageant. Why? Because it's not necessarily because you need to just look cute in the crown. It is because it is time for you to stand up for this nation. The nation is in need of you, the brilliancy in you, the leader in you, to stand up for strong families, to stand up for strong community, to stand up for a strong economy. And definitely we need you to stand up right now for our community to arise up, for the marriages to arise up, for just a time as this. Our nation is in need of the leaders to not stay back, but to rise up. We're not fighting. We are arising and using our mind, and we're using our wealth to begin to shift what this nation is in need of. We need wealth builders. We need wealth builders to arise together and come together. And that's what the MMBA pageant is all about. It's about bringing the brilliancy together, not holding it in for yourself, but we're going to shift the nation with this kind of mindset, the mega mindset, as I like to say too. We are everyday good again. We are being intentional about building up our wealth, building up our marriages, building up our community, building
Right.
up the economy because it's necessary. So don't delay. Go to www.mmbapageant.com. Not only do you need to get your application in, but you absolutely need to be VIP exclusive. Get all the way to the top, get all the way to the front, and come in with the brilliant minds, and let's go ahead and rock our royal and represent royalty well.
Yes, because there's royalty in our DNA.
Absolutely.
Amazing, awesome. And we have the opening number, and we have some dancing, we have some fun. We have Miss Shirley who's gonna be there with us. Miss Shirley is amazing. She is our choreographer. The DJ is ready, the photography is ready, the stage is prepped and ready for you. Everything is good. We have staff, we have everyone in place. You will not be left behind. This is a momentous time because this time there's no sweating or nervousness because it's a crowning of a nation. It's not where you have to be interviewed, which is very, very one of the most difficult parts of the pageant. You don't have to do the on-stage chat and all that kind of stuff. This is just the fun stuff. So we're excited. Thank you, our royalties, for joining us. Thanks for those who joined us online, who shared out. Thank you, Mr. Anderson. I believe the one of this Facebook user, I believe it's you. I don't know why. I know why it's blocking you, because you're going through the pageant. And whenever you're going through the pageant and the pageant is live, Facebook don't make you go two ways. So thank Mr. Anderson will be, well, I guess he is Mr. Husband. Be there working as hard as he normally does. You know, last year he got a nosebleed. This year you get a nosebleed and they think you got COVID. So no, we're not going to be sick. No, nothing, no harm, no danger. Every flight is safe. Every travel is covered. There shall be no harm, no accidents, no danger, because it's a God decreed moment in time, and we can never have any interruption. There is no room for stupidity. There's no room for evil, because we're standing in the palace and we're walking in the Joseph season and the Esther season of our lives. So thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you, my amazing guests. You guys are always showing up on time and in the place, always just really amazing. And Joe, Kathy, my husband did bring me a mic. So, I ain't gonna drop this one because we're using it next week. I'm gonna put the bling over it though, so and cover it. But he did bring me a mic. You guys are just so profound. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining us and help me to be able to answer some of the questions that may have come through on the national page. God bless you. Love you. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And we'll see you in the place. By this time next week, the crowning of a nation would have been birthed, and a new nation has been birthed. It's the royal. Amen. Amen. All right. God bless you all. Mwah.
Bless you.
Thanks.